Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Cats TV, and we're here with your latest transfer news and rumours. Sorry, we've had a bit of a delay. We did record another one of these the other week, but we've had sound issues. But hopefully, when Conrad speaks any moment now, you will hear him. Conrad?
Oh, sorry, I was joking. I just wanted to do. Yeah, all right. Yes, hopefully we're back, and you'll actually be able to hear my amazing insights into the world of Sunderland at the moment, rather than just being drowned out and talking like this.
Yeah.
Quietly. Yeah.
And this wasn't planned. We just
No.
both came on with the same
We've
shirt
done this
on.
twice now. In the unseen show, we both wore this season's home shirt as well, and this isn't planned. We actually just rock up in what we like, but yet we've both been quite coordinated so far.
I think we need to mix it up a bit next time.
Yeah.
It's going to get
At least you're old. You're the old version, and I'm the new version.
It's bad when we're going to start messaging what you wearing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It might get to that stage.
Right. Transfer news. And first of all, outs. And the latest one being Aaron Connolly. Short stint on Wayside has come to an end, with the former Brighton man heading back south to join up with Millwall.
Yeah.
Is this confirmed?
I don't think it's confirmed. I think I read it first on, I can't remember, what's it called? It's just Sunderland AFC News. So I don't know who's put it on there. As we always say, we're just weatherman. We're just reading them out.
I've got it here on Roker Report.
You've got it on Roker Report as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, it seemed to come up this afternoon that we've sort of entertaining a bid from Millwall for him. It doesn't say how much. I can't imagine it's going to be a huge amount of money because he's only on contract until the summer, of course, and we've only just had him, so it's not going to be millions. It'll just be a very small fee, I would have thought, just to sort of go, right, we'll call it a day. We'll just end your deal here and you can go over there. Millwall, ironically, the one team he scored against, so they've probably seen something they liked in that game, playing two. But then again, playing two up front really played to his strengths in that game, and he looked pretty decent.
He's just had his longest time on a pitch for Sunderland ever as well, with the Stoke Cup game. He literally, I'm like, why is he still on the pitch? Why is he still on the pitch? Millwall must have been scouting.
Yeah, it's. I was looking at that when I was watching the game this week. I was sitting there going, "There's a lot of players who have done themselves no favors in sort of trying to get into the first team." And a bit like, I'm going to jump in there with it already. A bit like Zach Johnson, who's just today gone out on loan to, I believe it's Notts County for the rest of the season. Just players who didn't cover themselves in glory. I think Johnson was trying to chase back and felt like he was trudging through water for their second goal.
I'm glad he's going on loan. I see something in Zach Johnson. I think he's a future investment.
Well, hopefully game time will help. You know?
He didn't look bad in that cup game, did he? He didn't do anything tragically wrong.
It was just how slow I think he was chasing that lad. But admittedly, Samed did no one any favours with that sort of hospital ball back to Dan Neil. And I expected Neil to just run 4 meters forward and control it out of nowhere when he's got players closing him down was just...
Yeah. We'll go into that in a match review.
Yeah. When we get to our match review first, we'll get to that one. But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the best thing, which is if we're not willing to sort of part ways with him and sort of go, right, we're done, is the best thing just to go and get some game time and we'll reassess. A bit like we've done with Matty Young at Salford, who's clearly going strength to strength. So I think they've go out and get some
game time
under your
for
belt.
A keeper is vital, absolutely vital. Is it permanent, this Connolly one?
From what I sound of it, yeah, it's not a loan because he's only on contract with us for 6 more months. So I think it'll be a very minimal fee, or they might just say, here's enough to cover the rest of his wages and we'll have him. You know, that sort of thing, really. That's all you can expect with 6 months left on his contract. And it's not like he's, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 6 months left and Real Madrid are coming in. You're sitting there going, I don't think we're going to keep you in the summer. Should we just call it a day now? And then at least, if they're willing to let a striker go, I can live in the sort of prospective world that they're looking at another striker to bring in place of him, of course. So that's going to be an awful, 2.5 weeks to go, thinking which strikers are we going to get, and we end up getting none.
Are you surprised he's going to another championship club, though? I mean, I expected him to drop down a league or two to try and get some good goals and good game time.
I think he's probably just, this was his 4th or 5th championship club in here. So I think he probably likes to think, and so do his representatives, that he is still this level. I thought he was terrible for our system. I don't think that means he's terrible for this league. I just think needs to play to his strengths. And the one game where we did do that, and he was an absolute nuisance, was against Millwall for 60 minutes until he got injured. And when we played two up top with him in and around behind Isidore, it seemed to look really good, actually. And it was a bit like, oh, maybe this is the way forward. But now Mayenda's sort of covering that role.
Yeah, it annoys me because you should adjust your tactics to your players, not pick your players according to your tactics. But anyway, that's enough
I
of
thought
that.
You'd be really happy to see him going anyway, based on the comments you were giving him on the weekend.
Oh, I just couldn't believe he'd got as long as he did on the pitch. I wanted him to succeed. I really did. I watched his little backstory that Sunderland put out, and I was like, oh, yeah, proper, like, had hard times, come back sort of thing. I wanted him to succeed, but it just wasn't happening. Just didn't happen in Sunderland's show. Unlike Bradley Dack, who I just did not like.
Yeah, exactly. There was a couple of chances against Stoke where I just think he really just didn't seem to be kicking the football properly. Do you know, there was he skied it a few times, then he P-rolled it a few times, and I'm sitting there going, like, you're like, if you get half a chance a game, you're sitting there going, maybe you do snatch at it. But he had about 4 or 5, and I'm sitting there going, you've got to at least hit one of these properly at some point.
Too weak as well, too quick to go down. I don't know if he thinks he's a Premier League superstar who's going to get the penalty and VAR decision all the time, but he needs some bit more strength in this division. Right, incoming anyway. That's we've cleared some crap out. We've still got lots of crap to clear out. Rusin, fire sale. Anybody wants him? Come on down right now. We're taking bids. Did Bar still there?
Bar's still there. Bennett's still there. I like Bennett though. I don't know. I don't want rid of him. I want Jewis and Bennett to work out. I just don't see him ever getting in.
Yeah. He's come good on every Football Manager game I've played. It's weird.
Yeah. But he is also now firmly behind Mundle and Tommy Watson and whoever we play out of Mayenda and Roberts out there when they're not fit.
Yeah, that's it.
Ashish is getting in there now, though. That's nice to see.
I was going to say, Ashish has done really well the last few games in the same position.
If he could just keep his shots down, I think there's a player in there even more so than we're seeing already.
Yeah. So, right, let's discuss the old news for incoming first. Enzo Lafie.
Yeah.
This feels like another absolute Sunderland coup, like when we got Patrick Roberts in the lower divisions and when we've signed players like that. This feels like somebody's greased some palms here.
Yeah, when the sort of, what do you call it, when the rumours started coming in, everyone was doing the same thing as me, just like, all right, yeah, whatever, mate. And I can't sit here and go, I knew everything about this player until I sort of, went, who's this? And then looked him up and went, all right, okay. So he's played under Labrie before, and his combined transfer fees between like two clubs are nearly 30+ million, and he's just not been used at Roma because the previous manager bought him, and then this manager didn't really try him that much. And sitting there going, how have we managed to do this? It feels very Ruben Neves to Wolves when they were in the Championship, and that they sort of got away with one that everyone was like, how have you managed to do that? But I think the loan with, I think it's an obligation to buy if promoted, I think is what it is. And we seem to be picking up his wages as well, which is unlike us. But it's like, I think I said to you when we send each other stuff, I went, is this the model evolving? That they're going, okay, that's what you need. That's what we'll do. It seems like when we come on to potential incomings as well of who we're looking at, that this model is no longer looking at, okay, who can we get that's like $1 million who we're going to sell for like 5 in 2 years' time? They're actually looking at what do we need now to get us over the line in this top 2 position. Because, you go, okay, we get promoted, and we've got to pay however much it is for Enzo Lafay. I just want to call him Enzo, just Enzo. But you're sitting there going, but we know that a year or so after that, Rig and Job are going to be worth however much. Sirkin's going to be worth however much. Ballard's going to be worth however much. Meppen might be one that we bring in. And I
think all the figures they're talking about now, I think you get into the Premier League and we're talking about doubling them figures, right? For them outgoing potential players. The thing with this one, with Enzo, though, where does he fit in right now? Because he's like a central midfield. He can play attacking midfield and defensive midfield. And on the rare occasion, he's played out on the sides. Mm-hmm. So he's a central midfielder. But we've got Rigg, Job, Neil, Brown when he's fit.
Mm-hmm. Samed now.
Samed, well, hopefully he's comes a bit better than he was.
Yeah. It's his first ever minutes for us. That's the first game he'll have played since about May.
But Samed and who scored against Stoke?
Alexic.
Mm-hmm. We've got an abundance of people in the centre.
Yeah.
How's that going to work? Are we getting primed for somebody big going during January?
I hope not, because you never want to. I mean, we're doing well, so you never want to disrupt the team when they're doing well. You know, if we were in the same position as we were last season, you sort of think, okay, maybe get one out and you start planning for your summer with your money and what have you. But I think we're going to use him more as an attacking midfielder. So I think you're looking at like Rigg might be swapping in and out with him, because as well, we don't want to overburden Rigg too much. He's still only 17 and whatever. Mm-hmm. It might be that Dan Neil drops out for a game or two as well. And, you know, Job sits a little bit deeper and Rigg sits there.
Of the ones I've listed, Dan Neil would be the weakest link in there. But he's got the armband. So, but
Dan Neil has been having his best spell this season for us in the last sort of month or so, really.
He's not consistent enough, though.
I think he's been, since the Swansea game, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong for us. I mean, I know we can look at the Stoke goal, but I'm sitting there going, when you're given a ball like that to try
that
and
wasn't
make
his fault. No, I won't blame him for that.
No, exactly. No. So, and we always say the same thing, which is he shouldn't be sitting as deep as he is. So I'm sitting there going, okay, well, if Job is still going to be our engine, maybe Job sits in that sort of sweeper role, or the CDM thing for now, and tries that one while we, you know, prioritise unlocking defences, because there's been a couple of games where we just haven't scored and we should have put them on. So like Sheffield United away, should have battered them, didn't. You know, Bristol City at home, should have battered them, didn't. You know, Millwall away got one, then got caught. You just really need someone to almost take the piss a bit, and that's what it seems like this Enzo could do for us, and just go, well, I'll slide it into Isidore in a pass that nobody else saw. Well, I'll do this, you know, and I think, because it's a loan, even if it's one, let's say we don't get over the line, we don't get promoted, and it goes back, and you sort of go, okay, well, that was a very low risk thing, because you've still got Rigg, you've still got Job, potentially they might sell him at that point, but you haven't damaged them. If anything, you've given them a bit of a rest. You don't want to sort of find yourself getting into March and April and burning out and just falling.
Does it concern you that he wasn't getting game time at Roma?
No, I think so the previous manager wanted him, and I don't know if he was playing too much under that guy or if May came in, but then he got sacked, and then Ranieri came in, and I think even in Ranieri's press conference about him, he sort of said he didn't really want him to go. However, the player wanted to play, and he'd played with Lebris before. And for the club, it made financial sense because they're not paying his money now. Not only that, if they sell him in the summer with an obligation, they've made money on him, and he hasn't even done anything for him. So it was a bit of like they didn't lose in that sort of. And if they got him back, they've got a really good player back. So it made no difference for them. I think they're like, okay, we didn't need him now, but we'll see what happens.
No brainer.
So it's smart from us to try and jump in on something like that and see that opportunity to sort of go, hang on, he's not playing. He's clearly levels above us, but let's test the water with it. Let's see if we can get him, and let's put that obligation in so that it shows that we mean business of going like, we don't just want to borrow him for 6 months and then go, now name your price. We're sitting there going, we'll have him now, and if we get promoted, we'll buy him at this. Like, that's it. So that if we do get promoted, they can't go, well, actually, we want twice as much. He's now a Premier League player. Well, no, we've already agreed this. So we're being clever with ourselves. And if we don't get promoted, we don't have to pay it.
No, it's smart. It's good business. I mean, say what you want about Spiegman. He does know his stuff when it comes to making deals and stuff like that. It's clear to that. You know, some of the players we've signed, we should have never been able to sign. And he's done it with really good business. I know, like, it's giving percentages away, like with Jack Clark, but whatever it takes to get it across the line, right? So people watching now now's your chance. Put your comment of what you think of Enzo Lafay down below as we go on to the next ones, and then we can read everyone's comments about each player. So let us know what you think about Enzo below. That's your first comment to do. Next one, which I didn't know. Yeah, incoming still. Which I didn't know till you said, is someone I actually said I rated in the game the other day. It's Tom Cannon.
Tom Cannon, yeah. So this one, it seems to have got a bit of traction from what I've been reading in various sort of sites online. Obviously, can't trust them all, but again, weatherman, just reading them out. His loan at Stoke might be being terminated or cancelled and recalled. Stoke have recalled one of their strikers from League Two in anticipation, I think, that Cannon's going. Leicester are looking for probably a financially better option, of course, and probably an option where if they loan him to somebody else, they can also tack on a obligation to buy or a fee for it. Now, it looks like, I think I sent to you that it's between us and Sheffield United that are looking into him to get him on loan again for the second half of the season.
I'd like to think we've got more pulling power based on our training facilities and our coaching and the players we've produced. Because even if they're thinking of lending him out to develop him, we look at the players we're developing right now.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to hope that the model sort of sells itself rather than the sort of, well, Sheffield United are in pole position and they've been in the Premier League before. And he's got to look at it coming in going, I want to play. And they only play with one striker, though. That's another thing that he could be looking at and going, am I going to get game time for them? Or are we going to then hamper Isidore for Cannon to come in? But then Cannon could come in and start absolutely firing as well. And
yeah,
we don't know. It was just one that we've seen, and there was the links in the summer, of course, where we were chasing him from them, and I think we got priced out. I think they wanted $5 million up front, $5 million to sign him, and we were like, we're not paying that at the time. So again, a loan doesn't seem that dangerous a prospect.
Yeah, and I looked into him at the time, and I feel like he's a good player. But honestly, at this stage, I don't think I'd start him over Isidore. Possibly not even over Mienda. So I'm not sure it's the right move for us at this stage.
If he's moving to two up front, I would say it's Isidore and Cannon.
Sure.
You have to play them both because Isidore is a completely different player to Cannon. I think Cannon was a lot more stronger, especially his goal in the away game at Stoke, where he sort of bullied Meppen and just sort of turned him, just gave himself half a yard from 20 yards and fired it in the bottom corner. Isidore scored some lovely goals, but I haven't seen him do that. I do think sometimes when he gets bodied, he sort of tends to throw himself down a bit and claim for something.
Yeah, I like Isidore and Cannon, kind of a Quinn Phillips thing potentially going on there. And what I like about that is your third striker sat on the bench then would be Mienda, but he's become a bit of a utility player, Mienda. So if there's an injury that's not up front, he can go on in other places.
I think they seem really keen on trying to push Mienda out wide rather than playing him as a striker, or as at least playing him behind Isidore. They definitely don't want to lead the line with him, I think, is what they've clearly established.
But he's got the nous and he's got the run and the speed on him to do that. So I think it's a good one. That. Yeah. So Tom Cannon. Don't really need to tell people much about him. They've all seen him in action this season.
Scored twice against us already. Yeah,
11 goals for Stoke in all competitions this year. So there you go. It's weird. I
think he's going to get game time at Leicester, so I think they're clearly looking for a better suitor than Stoke City and someone who they can go, well, actually, if he gets promoted with this lot, we can sell it, we can loan him out now, get some money, and if they get promoted, they'll buy him off of us. They're clearly looking at that.
It's an unusual decision from them because he's getting game time at Stoke, and that's all you really want when you're lending a player out, right?
Bournemouth did this to us. I'm sad, so I remember this. So we had Lewis Grabban on loan, and he was playing it week in, week out, and he was 12 goals for us in the first half of the season. And then Bournemouth recalled him so that Villa could loan him, and Villa were in the Championship as well. And he didn't play as much. He still scored a fair few for him, but didn't play as much. It was just because one of us was down the bottom of one end and one of them was further up. So there's got to be some sort of incentive to them going, well, actually, if we cancel this, we can get a better deal now because he's clearly proved he can do it in that league. That's all I can think. Maybe Premier League clubs are looking more into PSR and things like that.
They've not got an abundance of strikers at Leicester. If you
Well, they're losing Vardy in a few years.
If you discount Vardy at 37-year-old,
Yeah.
you've only got Daka and Ayenchu, whatever he's called, Kalishi.
Yeah. Mavididi sort of plays winger, but can play forward.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they're recalling him to actually play him. I don't know.
I
don't think. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Personally, I don't think it's a good move at this stage. It would have been a good move before Isidore, before Mendes come good. But right now, I'm not sure I'd be celebrating this signing. Would you be happy with it?
I mean, I'd be happy with him, but it just depends what we're going to do. Because if we're just bringing him in to sit on the bench instead of Connolly, then what's the point in that, really? If you're bringing him in to go, actually, bollocks to it, we're going to go 2 up top and we're going to play a different way, then okay, cool. I'm interested in it. And I think it certainly helps Isidore and takes a bit of the burden off of him in each game. But I can't say it's one that... I think it's probably one of them. We've kept tabs on him in the summer and we still keep tabs on them now. That's probably where these links are coming from.
Yeah. Okay, so next incoming. I had to double take when you first made the thumbnail because I thought, no, we're not having Dak back, surely.
Yeah.
He gives me Dak vibes.
Yeah.
Ben
Brereton
Diaz.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Well, I know that he's got a lot of goals since he decided he was Chilean, and since playing for Blackburn in the Championship, and then I think he went to Sheffield United in the Premier League for 6 months, and then he's since gone on to Southampton, and they've not won a game since he's been in the team. But in this league, he pretty much scores goals for fun. Plays a bit more on the left side of a forward. Can play the left side of a forward 3 as well, because he's sort of solidly right-footed.
Because we're short of people.
Yeah,
in that position, you know.
Exactly. But that's just where I've seen him play a lot more for Blackburn in the previous ones, and he's clearly a goal scorer at this level. Now, I saw the rumours were saying that Southampton were only willing to let him go if there was an obligation to buy if your team was promoted. So they were looking at, Sheffield United and Sunderland. Now, Diaz has apparently said he only wants to go back to Sheffield United because he was there before, and he said, he knows what the deal is. He's worked with them before, and he'd like to go back. It was only 6 months to a year ago. Yeah. However, Sheffield United are not willing to meet the obligation to buy if they're promoted. Whereas apparently we sort of went, oh, we will.
Like he's valued at 7 to 8 million, right?
Yeah, it's because as well in a few seasons ago he's been touted for 10 to 15 for someone like Everton and Palace and people like that. So I think they're clearly seeing we've got a player in here who then we can, if we can get him working and actually get him firing in the Premier League, we've clearly got a good player here and a proven goal scorer. Just I don't know, it felt a weird one that we were so keen to be like, yep, we'll have him, bang. It feels like, hang on, this one's come out of nowhere. If you were offering that to like Tom Cannon, I'd almost go, I understand, because you've been chasing him for like a year and it feels like you've done your research on him. Whereas this one feels a bit more like, oh, he's available. I'll go on then. And
you don't know it to be that. I mean, look at the signings we get in each window, and it's like players like, who the hell is this guy? We've never even heard of him. The research is going on in the background all the time. I mean, it raises eyebrows for me. I love to see on transfer market here that I'm looking at international career, England under 19s, England under 20s, Chile, yeah. Under 20, they went, you're never going to make the.
I don't know if he still plays for Chile, because he did for a long time, and then there was something about, I don't know if he fell out with the Chilean national coach because he wouldn't learn the language.
But it says he's still a national player on these stats for Chile, so
fair enough then. I don't know if that was just at a certain point, but yeah, there was rumours that he wouldn't learn their language when he went over there, and they weren't particularly happy with him. But he scores goals for fun for him.
There you go. So it's another position that we don't really need, in my opinion.
If he plays up front as a front 2 on the sort of left side of a front 2, you're sitting there going, okay, fair enough. Then
you can't possibly get Cannon and him.
No, it'd be one or the other.
We go from the opposite what we were a year and a half, 2 years ago of, we need a striker, to, fuck, we got too many strikers.
Yeah, you can't suddenly go Cannon, Isidore, Ben Brereton Diaz and Abdullahi. because you've got rid of like Rusin and Connolly, and you've still got Mayenda in there as well. It just seems too many. So I'd imagine, I mean, they're all just hearsay at the moment. Nothing's been confirmed or anything like that there. It's probably all just everyone's testing the water and looking for a little advantage to get them over the line. And I'm glad to see we've done business early with Enzo. That's very unlike us to try and get something done really early.
Yeah, I was like in shock at that moment. I was like, really? An actual signing?
We were in single-digit dates, and it was like, bloody hell, we've made a player signing already. Jesus! Right. So I'm glad we've clearly sort of went. That's a position, attacking midfield. We need to sort of highlight. Let's get that one nailed down, and then now we'll look at goal scoring. Because again, I don't think defense is our problem. I don't think goalkeeping's our problem. I think it's scoring goals, because we've had a few games where if we'd have just been able to put the ball in the back of the net, we'd have been sitting higher up than we are. So
do we need any more players now?
I think we definitely need a striker, especially if Connolly's going. I think we definitely need a striker, and a loan is very low risk, although it's a bit annoying that, say if we do get Cannon on loan, then our two best strikers are on loan.
Yeah.
They're not ours, so...
Yeah. Well, there you go. So potentially, not potentially.
I'm interested to see what people think, though. I know we're just reading them out, but what people are thinking of them, and there's potential options for us, and if they would make us better, or how would you play them? Because it's a bit baffling to me. Like you say, Brenton Diaz left-sided a bit more. Well, you've got Mundell back shortly. Watson will be back in a month or so, and
Al-Shishi's coming good.
Yeah. And then you sit there and go, okay, Enzo makes sense, but you've still got other midfield competition in there. And then the striker situation, we only play one. Like, how does this work?
Brown doesn't get a game right now, right? Brown just doesn't get on the pitch right now.
No, probably not, which is a shame because he's clearly a very clever technical player. So I think he's going to be used as a bit more of a come on and shore us up in games if and when he's fit, rather than starting games.
Yeah. Like we're 2-0 up, come on and strengthen the centre.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I think that's it. Oh, the last one to mention is Bellingham. Because, I mean, I've said with the fact we've got this Enzo, we could be losing somebody. And Bellingham rumours have been floating around since the transfer window started before January. Since before the start of the season, we were looking at rumours like Dortmund and stuff like that. But he said, or someone close to him has said, that he's going to stay. He wants to stay till the summer.
Yeah, I read that as well, and hopefully that's true, because the one thing you can say about the Bellinghams and the Bellingham family is they're very smart, and they're not sort of just like Ian Hart just trying to get Clark out for no reason just because he wants money. They're clearly looking at the bigger picture here and going, well, you're still doing really well for Sunderland, so why change that? And in the summer, we'll have another look at it. They might even have a gentleman's agreement or a handshake deal where they go, if you don't get promoted, you can go for this. If you get promoted, then we might give you, Bellingham might say, I can give you a Premier League season and see how it goes, and then I want to move on from there. Whereas if we were already in the Premier League and we stayed up, I think this is it. He's done. Yeah. Whereas if we step up, I think he's happy to go, I'll step up with you. Let's give it a go, because the last thing you want to do is get promoted and lose one of your best players.
Out of all the locker rooms we've had over the last 10, 15 seasons that I know of, this one feels like everyone wants to be there. Everyone's enjoying the football. Everyone's getting on. And maybe Connolly didn't fit into that model quite. I don't think Pritchard fit into that model quite. No, and this new generations that's coming on, you can just tell, even on walkouts and tunnel walkouts and access all areas, they just all seem to get along,
Yeah,
well.
Definitely. And the Pritchard one's an interesting one to quickly mention it, just because when we look for experienced players, the experienced players tend to come with a bit of not an attitude, but they've lived football and they know what it's like. So they're very
sense of entitlement.
Yeah. And they're looking after themselves rather than the sort of bigger picture. So we helped Pritchard out when he needed it. And then when we were relying on something from him, he wasn't going to give it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that about sums it up for now.
Yeah.
Watch this space. We'll see what else comes of these rumours and other rumours. If you know of any rumours or you have heard of any signings or potentials, please pop them in the comments below and we will do some research and read it out again, like Conrad says, as the weatherman.
Best way.
Any final thoughts, Conrad?
Yeah, you can't have a go at me for making up rumours because I'm just reading them out. They're already online. You can look it up yourself, so I'm just reading them out. No, just again, please, like and subscribe. It really does help us out. I know Mike did a fantastic stream against Stoke in the FA Cup, and we
share about the result.
Yeah, we tipped over to the over 800 now, so we're well on our way up to 1,000. So really do subscribe. It really helps us out, and you could win that shirt.
Not this one. This one's mine, but one that's
you can win match worn by Mike shirt.
Oh,
yeah, not washed.
Disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have the choice: a new sealed one or the stinky Mike one. There you go. Yeah. How's that?
Worth every penny of your no pennies to subscribe.
So and we'll be doing a match commentary at the next game, which is
Burnley on Friday,
which is down the road from me. So I'll have my flag.
You're just going to lean out your window and just go.
So I'll be doing a live commentary from Burnley, live, but not in my front room.
Not in Turf Moor.
So thanks for watching, guys. Can't say other than you already said. Hit like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Leave comments below. We love to hear from you, even the trolls. You know who you are. And we'll see you all in the next one. Can you tell I'm stalling while I look for the button? Here's the button.
Just a bit.
Bye.